got big dreams, I'ma do big things. Yeah, you see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I move fast right past.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Samix Plays here, and today we're going to be talking about the massive patch that the First Descendant just dropped. They have just added dynamic motion to the game, which that's the first thing we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go ahead and show it off and kind of give my thoughts on it, as well as we have a lot of other cool systems that were added to the game, such as the mutant cell system, which is basically like gems from PoE. You go into your arcade tree and you select a slot, and you essentially can just like throw in a mutant cell or a jewel, whatever you want to call it. We've seen this system in other games like ARPGs and things like that. So I think it is overall really good. Now there are some concerns with it, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm basically going to be going over everything that's new in the patch, how you obtain everything, basically giving you guys information of all the new stuff and what you need to know if you plan on coming back to play the First Descendant. And then at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on everything, just to let you guys know, do I think it's good, do I think it's bad, all that good stuff, yada yada yada, right? So let's go ahead and jump into game here, and the first thing we're going to be going over is dynamic motion. Alright, so the first thing that you're probably noticing is even in the character select screen, or not the character select screen, the main page here, it is applied. So you can see right here, it's like moving, right? So let's go ahead and test this out. There are 4 different options, so I'll go ahead and go over that. So to get to, it's automatically set on medium, so to get to it though, you're going to go to gameplay, you're going to scroll all the way down, and it's going to be right here. Let me move my camera. So it's going to be called dynamic motion level. This is your physics, and you have off, weak, medium, and strong. So I was testing around with all these options, and it does seem like that medium is kind of like the sweet spot, but if you do want like just a lot of jiggle, you can go for strong. I'd say medium is probably the best from what I've seen, but strong is just like, you know, if you want it very like dramatic, right? So I'll show you guys what strong looks like. So when I tap W on my keyboard, you see it's like pretty, you know, dramatized, right? And then also the top as well. So that's what strong's gonna look like, and then we'll go ahead and change it to medium. And this is going to be medium. So, you know, I think this is like more like on the realistic side of things. But, you know, I'm going to keep mine on strong just because I'm based. And of course, this also does apply to like emotes and stuff like that. So, you know, you have like the bouncing ball. Yeah. So they pretty much added exactly what everyone has been wanting since launch, which honestly, I thought it was kind of weird that the game didn't have it in the first place. You know, you have games that even like PoE 2 has like physics. So, you know, I think this was a massive W, right? Like, I mean, if you are one of those people that just don't want this in the game, you have an option for you to just go ahead and turn it off. You won't have to see it. But at the end of the day, this is like a fan service game. The whole appeal is like good gameplay and attractive characters. So, you know, it is what it is. If you are on the other side and you're just like, oh, it's bad for the game, you can just turn it off and let other people who want to use it, and there's really nothing to complain about, right? But overall, I think it's a good thing. I enjoy it. I think it's cool. I like it. I mean, you know, I am always for attractive characters in the games I play, so big W. Next up, we're going to talk about the mutant cell system. So if you don't know what that is, basically it is a new system added to the arcade tree. So if you go to the arcade tree, you'll see that there is now a mutant cell slot, and these slots have a different socket type. So for example, this would be like rutile, this is cerulean, you know, malachite is down here. This is going to change depending on what descendant you're playing. But essentially what it is you can go to your library and look up mutant cells, and each one is going to do something different, and it's going to give your character a power boost. So for example, when attacking enemies inflicted with electrocution, applies additional skill power. So this gives you 9.5% skill power. If an enemy gets a debuff with electrocution, So it's just giving you a little bit of extra damage. There's a lot of these. There's some defensive ones. So like here's one as well. It gives you electric skill power and electric skill power per stack, going up to 3 stacks. So this will give you like 18% electric skill power. So you know this one's like raw skill power, and this one is just specifically electric. So you could like slot these in. It gives you a little bit of a power boost. And you might be wondering, okay, well, Samix, how do I get these? Like, you know, how do I go and grab them? Because when you go here and you click like F, it's no information available. It doesn't tell you where to get it, right? So you're going to be getting it in Sigma Sector. So if I go over to Sigma Sector and let's just say I go to Broken Boundary, you'll see they have added what's called a spoils box. Now, in hard mode, this has a 5% drop rate, so it might take you some time to get it. I think it took me like 6 or 7 runs. I can't remember exactly, but I ended up getting one, and then you can select from the box which one that you want. And then that's when you would go into your arcade tree and you would slot it in. I grinded the mats to be able to do it just so I could show you guys. Initially, I was going to make the video and just full send it, but I thought it would be more helpful if I just kind of actually showed you how it works. The thing with the slots is it does take mats. So if you see right here, fission accelerant, you're going to need 100 of these and it's going to unlock the slot. So we're going to go ahead and unlock this, and you also get this in Sigma Sector. It drops off the bosses at the end and they give you like, I think it's 3 to 5. So it will take you like a little bit of grinding to be able to fully unlock one of these slots. Probably, if I had to guess, probably if you're running it on like Bunny or Inez, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. I don't know exactly how long it took me to get this, but I would say kind of in that ballpark. So let's go ahead and unlock this. So we're going to confirm it. Now it is unlocked. And again, I just wanted to clarify that. So I switched to Serena. See how I unlocked it on Bunny? And this is locked again because there are different socket types. It is not the same shared across all Descendants. So let's go ahead and look at Inez. See, it is not unlocked for me, right? So if you are wanting to unlock all the slots, it is probably going to be quite a bit of grinding. But generally speaking, you're probably going to like path one way or the other. Like, I don't know specifically if it's going to be optimal to like try and take out your nodes to path to like 2 different sides. This is all still very new, so, you know, I'm still playing around with it, trying to figure it out. But regardless, I just wanted you guys to know that, just so you know that like if you unlock it, there are different types with different Descendants. So we're back to Bunny. Let's go ahead and slot something in here. So as I said, you are going, once you get that 5% drop rate box, you're going to go into your consumable tab, and we're going to go ahead and open it. Here it is. And let's go ahead and select one here. So we want Rutile. Let's see. We don't want this one. We're going to get one for Bunny specifically. So let's go ahead and get this one. It gives me electric skill power. Let's go ahead and do a test on this one. This is just like I'm learning with you guys as we go. So let's go ahead and pick this one. Let's acquire this. It's a Rutile slot. Seems pretty good. Let's go back into our arcade tuning, equip mutant cell, and then here we go. So let's go ahead and equip it. When a mutant cell is equipped, it becomes bound to the slot and cannot be removed. To apply a different effect, it must be overwritten with another mutant cell or extracted, which that also costs mats, which I'll show you here in a second. So let's go ahead and equip this. We have it equipped, and then if we want to extract it, we need these. It's called ARC genetics. So I would have to extract this, and then it will move it to the inventory. So it doesn't just completely disappear, it'll just move it to the inventory. I think they did this so you can't just like freely swap them out like for fights and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, oh, if you want to change it, you have to go back and grind again. But if you're running Sigma Sector regularly for all your other characters, eventually you should have enough mats to kind of just do whatever you want. But obviously the system is new now, so you know, in the beginning it's probably going to be a little slow. So just select which one you think is going to be the most beneficial for you. This one is obviously just a test one that I was just like, oh, this looks pretty good, I guess. Now there is one thing to consider here. A lot of the times these are going to change the way you path. Like, let's say I saw a you know, maybe in the future anyways, I saw, like, let's say I saw like a Cerulean slot that I really wanted, I would have to drop all these nodes and go all the way up here. So that is kind of an issue I see with it. You would have to path, if you wanted to use a specific mutant cell, you would have to like drop all these points. I don't know if that'll change in the future. Like, for example, in PoE 2, like, there's items that kind of let you spec into the skill tree without actually having to path to the skill tree, so it'll like pick up a node in a certain radius. I don't know if that's something that they're going to be adding, because if I wanted to slot over here, I would have to give up all of this skill power and then pick up like attack nodes here, right? Like firearm attack nodes, so it wouldn't really be worth it. That being said, there's not too many mutant cells in the game right now that is going to be like insane for, you know, Bunny or whatever, but I think in the future, once we get more systems, it would probably like be cool to allow us to, like, you know, if I wanted to spec into this without pathing to it, hopefully in the future there's a way to do that. That way you won't have to drop your whole arcade tree, but this one works out for now. I only had to change my tree around like very little to go up and grab this, so it works out. But anyways, that's how you would do the new mutant cell system. It's pretty simple. You just have to do a little bit of grinding to get it, but overall, you know, it's good. It's a good thing. More systems like this encourages people to go out and grind again, and, you know, it just feels good when your character gets a power boost, right? So I think this is a massive W. Obviously, it's a little bare-boned right now because the system just released, but I think over time, this will get better and better. I love the idea of it. I am a big fan of arcade tuning and expanding upon this system. So I'm happy with this. I think it was a good change. This guy is all up in my shit, by the way. Like, what are you doing, brother? You trying to see the jiggle? There you go, bro. I got you. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to go over is they added a update to the new core system. Well, it's not new anymore, but like this system is new, so you can go over here and you can actually now combine your cores for a core that you want. So originally a big problem was that when you went and did Void Purge, you would a lot of the times get cores that you like did not want, right? So you can actually now re-roll them. So if you come over here to Deslin and you come up to core conversion, you can actually change which cores you want to craft. So for example, let's say I want a green core because I want to put sprint speed in my gun. I would come over here and then select which one I wanted to reroll. So right now it's on the orange one, the firepower one. So anything I select, it'll convert it to a firepower core. So if I wanted a green one, I'll go down here, right? Like, so I want a tactical one. You can see right here, make sure you don't mess it up because core 10s are pretty, not rare, but you guys know what I mean. They're a pain in the ass to get. So, for example, I have 20 of these. I have 20 of the hit ones, so let's go ahead and do this one. So you just select the quantity that you want down here. It takes 3, so it's a 3-to-1. So I have to give up 3 hit augmentation cores to get 1 tactical core. They're both level 10, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll create 2 of them, sure, why not? And then there you go. I just traded 6 of these for 2 of these. So it's not like that great of a return, but if you have cores that you just really don't need, or you have too much of a certain core, you can now convert those. This is really, really good. That way you can convert all 50 of your cores and then still not hit the thing you want. Absolutely chef's kiss. But that is the RNG of the game. That's what keeps you grinding, you know what I mean? Other than that, we've got a lot of other quality of life updates. So if you see here, they were kind of just like changing up just like the overall look of the game, kind of updating it. I do want you guys to be aware that the inversion reinforcement upon like the new update and you logging in, this is going to be reset. So you need to respec it. But the good thing about this is you now have presets that you can use. So I can create 3 different presets. So let's say I wanted to use this one for Bunny, and then I made this one for Serena. Here, I'll do this so just so I know. Serena. Sorry, I meant to say Sydney Sweeney. All right, and then we'll go over here and then we'll, you know, put Bunny, and then, you know, you could create a third slot and you can like freely switch between them, right? So again, this is just quality of life stuff. Really good stuff coming out from the devs. Another thing they added here, sorry Master Shake, I'm gonna use you as a example, but I'm gonna go ahead and press T. You can now view Descendants, so you can see what builds people are running. So if I go here, view Descendant, I can now see, you know, what he's using, what weapons he's using, what his build is, etc, etc. So if you are maybe a newer player and you just see like, oh wow, this guy is really decked out, he's got cores in all his guns, he's got, you know, ultimate Lepic, he's mastery 29, this guy looks like he knows what he's doing, right? Like you can go up and see like, oh, this guy destroyed everything when I went into a party. What is his build? What is he using? So this is going to make it easier for people to kind of just like copy paste the builds without having to go to YouTube and watch a 30-minute guide video. So, you know, I can see like, oh, he's running Firearm Master with all these mods, etc, etc. As far as I know, there's not like a copy button. I don't think you can like just copy paste. I think you'll probably have to like screenshot it or write it down or what have you. But regardless, I think this is just like a really good change, right? You can just inspect your party members and stuff like that. They also have a customized menu where you can see like what skin they're wearing, what their back attachment is, what their paint is, like all of that. So, you know, I think this is overall a really good change. Some people were scared that this might cause like toxicity in the game. I don't think so, to be honest. I think if this causes toxicity, this community is just doomed, because this just seems like such a silly thing to get mad over. People are saying like, oh, people are gonna gatekeep in parties if you don't have good gear or mods on. I don't think that's gonna happen, guys, and even if it did, you're gonna be able to solo all the content in the game anyways. This is nothing to get mad over. I think it's a good change. It helps the new players just kind of see what's going on. If they don't really know what they're doing, they can kind of just like see what everyone's running. I think this is a net positive. I don't think there's anything to be concerned about. Other than that, like certain materials got buffed when you run Sigma Sector. There's a lot of like miscellaneous, very small stuff that they added to the game. They also added a new boss, which is going to be here. So it's called Ice Maiden. So this is basically just like a boss that, you know, you kind of fight at the beginning, but it has new mechanics. It looks like just a reskin again, but regardless, I mean, you know, it's always cool to get a new boss to kind of play around with. I have not tried this boss yet myself. The update just came out like a couple hours ago, and I was farming Sigma Sector to show you guys the new mutant cell system, so I have not fought her yet. But you know, I'll probably mess around with it a little bit later. Another thing is they also did increase the vouchers that you're going to be getting from these bosses, so you won't have to grind as much to get what you want. So I have it pulled up over here on the other screen. Previously, you could get 4 to 155 vouchers. Now you're going to be guaranteed to get 30 per run. So that is a massive increase in rewards. You also get double the external components and double the modules. So yeah, they are absolutely nutty for this. You won't have to grind so much if you're trying to get all the new skins. So yeah, it's possible you hit the high roll and you can get up to 800 in one run. Obviously that's going to be rare, but yeah, you can get 30 to 800 tickets now per run. That's wild. That's absolutely crazy. So yeah, you're gonna be getting like anywhere from 7 to 100 times the tickets that you normally would, right? So massive increase here. If you guys have noticed, there's also a new party tab here. So if I go here, you can actually recruit people. I guess I haven't played around with this, but yeah, they added a party tab. A lot of people have been asking for this because some people don't like running with like Bunny, Inez, Freyna, like whatever. So you can actually like select what descendants you want. So like right here, I can specify. So let's say I didn't want, you know, let's say I only wanted like Viesa, Lepic, and Sharon or something. I could specify what I want, and then you could recruit party members who are like, you know, wanting the same thing. Basically, they did this because people were complaining that, you know, farming characters were running way too fast, and this is kind of like their solution to that. So you can now form parties if you just don't want to play with certain descendants. So if I go over here, see, this is all people are looking for. So this guy is looking for like a Eugen. He is trying to do a void battle. You can see his mastery rank and all that good stuff. You can select what mastery rank you are looking for. So to join the party, you have to be above level 19 here. And yeah, so, you know, it's cool, right? It's definitely a cool system. I think it's a big W. The more quality of life stuff we get for the game, the better, especially for newer players. Yeah, I think it's overall a good thing. Pretty massive W, I would say. Pretty much this entire update has been like a massive W. So sorry, hey, don't judge, bro, don't judge. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I covered like all the major points. So yeah, I think it's a really good update. A lot of quality of life stuff in here. The dynamic motion update is a massive W. You know, I think that in games like this where a big appeal is attractive characters, that, you know, that just, it should be in the game, right? I mean, it's weird that the game came out and was focused on this aspect of the game and didn't have it. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it looks good. I think it was a really good update. Yeah, I think TFD just keeps getting better and better. Obviously right now we're waiting for season 3 and all that good stuff. You know, like, we got the Nier collab coming, we got Ultimate Luna coming, so we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. I think this is a good, like, update for sure, though. I enjoy it. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Do you think this is a massive W? Do you still have problems with the game? What do you think of the new mutant cell system and all that good stuff? I hope I was able to help you guys out with the new update. If I was, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate all the people who have been with me since the beginning. You guys are goated. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Anyways, though, this video has run way past what I wanted it to. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Again, I appreciate you guys. My name's SamXPlays. I'll see y'all on Albion. Y'all have a good one. Peace.